Hello everybody, this is Shiruku here once again making another video, this time for the Shiruku Life channel. And I've kind of already said this before in my social media accounts, but as you can see with the title of the video, I am the senior class president of my school. And how to say, this is a video I've kind of wanted to make for a little while. I say probably for the majority of this entire first semester. And this is not necessarily more serious or anything, but this is something like I said, I've wanted to do. And I feel with a semester of work done and a whole entire semester of, experience on my belt, I think it's time for me just to kind of, not necessarily give advice, but just, yeah, I guess you could say it's giving advice of just doing this whole senior class president stuff. Since, actually, surprisingly enough, I I guess think twice before I've searched up senior class president online, like on Google and YouTube. I barely see any videos of it. Like I barely see anybody like put videos about like saying all this and that about this experience and me doing this and that. Maybe they don't want to do videos. That's fine and all, but I kind of feel, at least for me, this is something I want to do so others in similar positions can, I guess, hear somebody else's thoughts and experiences on doing this job. So I guess you can see in their perspective, I guess you can say. Because, like I said, this is something with many things I've been thinking about and things I want to share. Just, like I said, just probably give advice for people who are in the same position, who are probably planning to be in this position next year, and when their senior comes, or hell, even if you're like the freshman class president or junior or sophomore class president, this could help you too. So with that introduction off, let's just get started. So first things first. Now I got a little list of just things I guess I want to tick over on. Let's see. I guess, alright. The first thing is obviously becoming the senior class president. So as of last year, so I guess a little story time. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, so prepare for a long one. And yeah. So when I first heard the positions of running for like an office on my school, like being like the treasurer and all that, at first I wasn't willing. Not I wasn't willing to, but that wouldn't have been my first choice. To me, I was like, you know what, maybe not be exactly for me. I got a little other stuff going on, but someone like convinced me, hey, you should go for treasurer. I'm like, all right, I'll go for treasurer. But then after some talk with other people, I inevitably just went going for senior class president. You know what? I'm going for this position. And with that, if you probably ran for position, you probably know how I feel about this. You know how the feeling is. There's a whole lot, I guess you could say, pressure. There's a lot of like things that you're like, whoa, shoot, I'm the senior class president. Running for the position, going against someone else like that. I don't know. Like, at least for me, I still remember the night before the freaking speech and all that. I was on this table just writing out what I was gonna like say. I was just like not even really thinking about it, just writing it out. And I still remember that like a little, I guess you could say, stress of it. It's not really anything too like serious, but there's that, I guess, that little, like I said, stress or freaking paranoia or something like that to get you on edge, like, oh shoot, this is something big and all that. And that's understandable. If you're in front of people, it's these like the people you represent are your friends most likely, and just all that. To that, all I can say is, don't let it bother you too much, because at least for me, after being elected and all that, and after actually even find out I was elected to like freaking the second day of school of senior year, and after everything's said and done, it will be all good. I feel it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be fine. And overall, yes, it can be a little intimidating to go for the position. If you feel you are able enough to be in the position, you're like, you know what? I feel I have enough experience. I'm equitable enough. I have the characteristics and all the things that a leader, I guess you could say, would need for being in this position, then go for it. Seriously, go for it. Like all the worst that can happen is, well, quite frankly, you lose. That is literally the worst that can happen. But ultimately, I really do feel that's not something anybody should pass up. Even if you think you might lose, I still feel you should just go for it. Just say, hey, what else I got to lose? I'm just gonna go for it. It's gonna be my senior year or like junior year and all that. You only got one shot at this. You only got one shot at life. You only got one shot at high school. You might as well go for it. Go for it. That's all I can say about that. And when conducting your speech, now this is just me, because actually this entire video is just, I guess, this whole my opinion speech thing and all that. When you make your speech, at least for me, I did see a few speeches like off like making, like people saying, oh, like if I get elected I do this and that and all that. I guess purposely did not go that route. I'm not, how to say, if you've even seen any of my other videos and plug in, go see my other stuff, you can tell, at least I'm hoping you guys can tell, I want to come out as someone who's honest. I'm not doing this like, I'm not trying to be like a robot doing this, like, oh, hey guys, that. No, this is just me talking, saying stuff from the heart, saying this is what I want, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. And that's kind of the approach I took when I made the speech. I was like, you know what, screw this whole, like, if I'm elected, I'll do this and that, vote for me. No. I forget, I think I have my speech somewhere in my freaking drawer or something like that, but I, just going off from what I can remember, I probably said something along the lines of, we've been through this and that, this, like, last 3 years in our school, this is our last year, let's make this great, and, let's all do this together. That's very short, like that, but I think, pretty sure that's a basic summarization of what I said. And like I said, it's not, and this is one of the things I made about this. I try not to let that speech be about me. I let it be about all of us. Me and the people I'm like friends with. People that I know. People I've been in class with. People I've sat with. People I've ate lunch with. People I've talked to these last 3 years. People that I've known who had the similar experience to me at the classroom. Who are having a similar experience with me applying for college. Having similar experience with me just being in school. Like going in, going out, doing homework and all that. At the end of the day, we're all people. We're all just trying to get through this. And I'm just a person who is just trying to run for this position to try and make this senior year the best year it can be. And that's kind of the mindset I had about that. And that's the mindset I took on it. And that's ultimately how my speech came out. I came out saying, this is what we've been through. This is what I kind of want to do. This is what I wish could happen. But if we all work together, then it can happen. I know we can do it. And this is not me trying to brag, but even after I said the speech and all, I asked one of my friends, they're like, oh, what do you think of it? And they're like, yeah, man, you did pretty great. Was cheering and all that. I was like, oh, shoot, I guess people liked it, And then, come second day of school, I find out, oh, I'm elected now. And yeah, that was that. But yeah, that's just the whole summarization of, I guess, that whole process. And actually, I'll put a timestamp, so I should probably say this in the beginning. I'll put timestamps in the comment section or in the description saying, okay, which is the part. So from, I guess, 2 minutes to 10 minutes, that's the introduction about going to this position and all that. But now, we are at the 9-minute mark. Let's see, what's in my notes? Let's see what else we got to say. That's just becoming president. Alright. Another thing. Going to the position. Finding out, okay, you just found out you're the president and all that. You're going to represent your group. What do you do now? What to do? Well, the first thing I actually do when I get out of the way, and this is a mistake that I will admit I've made. Sometimes with so much work between just within your life, school, being the president, and probably some any other extracurricular activities. Oh, excuse me. Quick pause. Shoot. You might forget how to balance things out, and I'll admit it's a hard shit. It's pretty hard to balance things out. Like just going off my own experience with my family and freaking at home. I have to go freaking they're separated and all that, so gotta go handle that. Then got schoolwork, like just on the school day itself, handling like at least for me I got AP English, AP Chemistry, pre-cal and all that. I gotta handle all that. Then you got homework to deal with, and then extracurricular activities. I'm part of SRLA. Like then on Saturdays I go to AP Readiness. Gotta go to the Saturday class and all that. And then that's not even considering, all the work you have as senior class president. So that's one thing you should keep in mind. Know and plan how to handle yourself. Okay, this is what I'm going to have this year. Let's say, I don't know, even if you're like a junior or sophomore and all that. Think, alright, this is what I'm having this year. Plan accordingly what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, but making sure I get everything done. And that's one thing, like I said, learn from, I guess, my mistakes. And I will learn even from my own mistakes going into the second semester. Plan things out. Think, alright, this is what I want to do. Gotta get priorities straight. Get this done, get that done, work on this and that. Everything will be fine. I guess, that's the first thing. I guess the second thing is, the work itself. At least for me. And from the very little I've seen online of people being like, I'm like in this position and all that, and I'm not, like I said, from the very little I saw, I got really little to no idea what others experience. But at least from what I experienced, and this is also because with ASB, it's kind of it's becoming a big part of my school. At least I feel is that you get very engulfed in the workload. I guess this is the average day. I go on Monday. Let's see. I think of alright then. So ASB, at least for me, is in fourth period. I gotta get work done. So right now I'm trying to get this survey done. I gotta help my group that I'm part of in ASB, which is poster group. Get posters done and all that. I'm also gotta help the freaking fundraise. Gotta sell pretzels and all that. We're gonna have a fundraiser in Applebee's in about a month or so. Gotta make sure I can plan ahead, see who I have to ask, sell the tickets and all that. And that's not even thinking about, I gotta help with this person make the senior packet, since the senior packet has our freaking stuff like our gown, has our senior portrait and all that. I gotta get that done with this other person. Gotta make sure to fit that in the schedule within the week. And then I also got just I guess after school stuff. At least for me, I take part in the SDM meetings and school sites council meetings at my school. And to me, that's my best chance to represent the class. Not even the senior class, the entire school. Well, since sometimes not all the officers, students aren't able to make it, so sometimes I'm quite literally the only one there. So I feel it's up to me to represent people. Like I said, ASB. Sometimes we want an extended lunch for, like example, Valentine's Day. We want to extend lunch for Valentine's Day. We want to make lunch about an hour long. Or is it? Yeah, an hour long. We want like a big, party, not party, but celebration for Valentine's Day. I have to go to an SDM meeting and be like, okay, this is what the students want. This is why we want it. This is our plan. This is the general idea of what we want to do. Push for it and then talk about it, negotiate, I guess, with the teachers and all that, since other teachers are right there in the SDM meetings. And you gotta talk with them, see what also fits their schedule, since you also gotta think about if you are running an hour lunch, you're also cutting into class time potentially. So you gotta find the best way to fit this all in. And actually, I feel like I found the best way to fit all in. I guess I'll explain more of that in detail another time, but yeah. All that to take into consideration. And then there's another thing, prom. Especially for me, if you are the senior class president, You gotta think, okay, what people want for prom. If something people want specifically for prom, you gotta take notes and then suggest it to the prom group and all that. Or somebody like I remember somebody who said they want Six Flags to go for like prom week and all that, or not prom week, senior week and all that. Not guarantee that's gonna happen, but I gotta write it down. Just okay, see what we can do. Not done. Oh well. Another thing, and this this leads into my next example, or now our next topic I want to talk about this. Being, I guess, the forefronter of your entire class. At least with me. I think I've said this before. I am the oldest of 5 brothers. I got 4 younger brothers. I'm the oldest. It's always been, I guess, one of my duties, I guess you say, to be an example for others. In this case, my 4 younger brothers. So when it came to being the senior class president, I felt that I had a duty to be an example for everyone else. Not only for the senior class, but for all the other underclassmates and all that. Since if you know the deal in high school, it's usually the higher classmates who kind of, I guess you could say, put the lower classmates in check. Sometimes people are just goofballs or acting rude, and you'd be like, hey, dude, don't do this, come on. And I feel, me being in my position, me being the people, they elected me to be in here. I have to take it seriously. I gotta be an example. Which means, I better not go out there, cuss the hell out of someone, or go out there, or doing something dumb like freaking, I don't know, do a prank on someone. Stuff like that. Just hold this position with responsibility. Responsibility to think, alright, I can't act like a goofball. Like, you can joke around and stuff. And actually, I will get to that in a few minutes. You can, joke around that, got homework and stuff. You can be you. But make sure you hold some, I guess this is a dignity in this position. Because, like I said, you are representing this class. You're representing others. And people, when they say, oh, who is your senior class president, they will point to you. And actually, I guess to put in perspective, a few months ago at this point, I went to a mock interview. And after I was done with it, the person who, I guess, interviewed me, they kind of gave comments to me. They're like, you know what? I hear you're senior class president. Here's some things I feel you can do better. They were telling me how I could, like, probably dress a little better. Probably, like, I guess, like, brush my hair a little more, which I have been doing. Do little stuff I hear. Stuff you even think would be too much. But stuff where overall can actually help you become a better you and help you be a good example for others. Think, hey, this guy's doing it, I could do it too. Let's be our best selves. And that's I have to say about that. Be your best self. Doesn't mean completely lose yourself. That's important too. But hold the position with some dignity. Hold it with some responsibility. And that leads to my second thing. Or this third or fourth, I don't even know where this is going. And that is, I guess this go with responsibility. At least for me, I said before earlier in this video that I go into meetings and I represent the senior class, not only senior class, ASB, and pretty much almost the entire school. With that, at least for me, I feel I have the responsibility to listen to people. I have the responsibility to speak up for people. I have the responsibility to take lead and take charge when things otherwise cannot be done. For an example, I previously said in other videos, in my school, we have things called advisory. Advisory, I call it like an indoor recess. We go in, we just have breakfast, and a majority of the time we do work in there. It's not really recess in that case, but we do work in there. And we just, that usually happened. At least last year and previous years, it was like 5 days a week. We go in there, have breakfast and all that. It's a little downtime between first and second period for us to actually kind of wake up and then, get ready for the next class. the thing is, this year, that was completely changed. While even the students noticed, the students, me, even some of the teachers, at least from what I'm hearing, did not know about this change of the schedule from having a 5-day advisory to just a 2-day advisory, Monday and Thursday. And when a lot of kids heard about that, of course, understandably, they'll be kind of mad. To be like, wait up, we didn't know about this. You changed this without our call. We didn't make a freaking say. We never had a voice heard because nobody even knew. Not even I knew. And yet this changed, and now we just gotta live with it. And this is what I mean with you have to be that voice. Like I said in the SDM meetings, sometimes, and it's not me putting flack on anybody else. Sometimes other officers or students, they can't make it meetings. That's alright. But with me, at least with me, I try to make the time out to be going to these meetings and be like, okay, I have to do this because if I don't do this, who is going to do it? So when I go to meetings, I'm like, all right, this is what ASB wants. We want this to stand lunch. Done. And with this big thing, like I said, this is kind of a school-wide thing now. I have to go right there in the SDM meeting and say, hey, the students don't like this advisory schedule. This was changed. Without our saying it, we want to see how we can change it back, or at very least have our input in there so we can find a middle ground between what some of the teachers want, some of the staff wants, and what the student wants. So find a middle ground where everybody is at least satisfied with something. And like I said, I'm not saying, oh, it's me only, but sometimes, if I'm not there, if you, especially if you're in an officer's position, doesn't matter what position you are, if you are literally the only one who can have a say in this and what the students have, whether it be senior class, junior class, if you are the only one, or if you are the one who gets a say to the teacher saying, this is what the students want, this is what this group wants, you better take charge and you better say something. And I'm not trying to say this is it, but really, you were elected into this position of, frankly, power. You're in this position of power now. Use it. Use it for something good. Use it for something that will actually help your school become better. Use it for something that the students would be like, hey, we want this, we'll really like that. Push for things. Be more involved than you already are. Because if you are in this position, I'm pretty sure you're already involved in school. You're probably involved in your ASB, you're probably involved after school, you're involved in something. Well, now you're taking the extra step to say, we gotta make this change for school. This is what we want. How can we make this change? And like I said, it's kind of, like I said, in meetings, it's kind of intimidating, being with teachers. You're in front of teachers. Some of these teachers are going to be your teachers, you see just 5 minutes ago. But you got to do the job. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what people are trusting you to do. And I guess going on a side note with this, in terms of listening to people. And, this is just something I've heard, at least in my school. Whenever I tell people, I, as senior class president, I feel I have to listen to the voice of the people, let's say, for example, somebody wants Six Flags for, freaking senior week. When I tell people that, I literally carry this little notebook. This tiny, I guess, a little sketch notebook thing. Or I just write down simple notes of what people are saying. Somebody says, hey, Alex, I want to talk to you about this thing. Can you, give me a quick moment? I'm like, all right. Take out my notebook, sit down, and just listen to them and just write down stuff. When I tell people that, surprisingly to me, they're like, what are you doing, Alex? What? You're listening to them? What are you doing? You're Mr. Voice? You want to be the voice of the class? Really? I don't know. This is something that actually boggles my mind. And this is, this will go to the next topic, but some people, for some mind-boggling reason think like, oh, you are in this position, I don't have to do this. Oh, I'm the position of being in the senior class or being the president of this and that. Well, I don't have to listen to this. I don't have to listen to that. I don't have to do this and that. Seriously? And then, and you know, I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to put flack on anyone. But sometimes it's not only students, it's teachers. Teachers are people who are being like, really? Like, you're doing this? You're doing this extra mile thing for the class? Oh, don't listen to them. Nah. Leave it. Just leave them be. And it's like, really, dude? I'm just trying to do my job. And I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to speak up for people who aren't able to, like, regularly speak up for themselves. Like, either they can't make it to the meeting, either they're intimidated by you, or, you know what? And sometimes it is their fault. I will admit, like, let's say, for example, for people who, let's say, they want the advisory back. They probably should go to meetings. Honest truth. They probably should. You know, that'll make a bigger impact in the meetings if more students were to go to the meetings. And more students have. And, you know, pat on the back for them. You know, other officers go to meetings. That's great. But for the students, yeah, they should probably take more charge within themselves to actually speak up for what they want. But this leads to my other thing. That's kind of your job. It is. Being in this position of class president, it is your job to speak up for other people. Quite frankly. It doesn't matter, even going beyond. Even if you're not in a position, like you're in any public position, like freaking like city council and all that. People elected you there. They want you to listen to the things they want to be solved within their city. They elected you. You better damn listen to them. And you better damn at least make some kind of freaking movement to be like, all right, I'm listening to you. Let me see what I can do. And I'm just going to go to the next point. Dealing with people, I guess, say, in the aftermath of you being elected. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but it's something me and others have noticed. Sometimes when people, and it's just people raw, you're gonna see people, and actually I actually was planning to make a separate video about this, but you're gonna meet people who you might not necessarily like, but they are in a position of power. They are in a position of where they can actually make a change. Like I said before, they can make a change for something, but in reality, they're probably not there to do that. They're probably not there for anybody else's gain but themselves. And when it gets to a point where, like I said, I'll give you an example. Just a really, really broad example. You against this other person. You want to go in for this reason. This person wants to go in for this reason. You end up getting elected. But months later, this other person still might have harsh feelings about that election. They still might have harsh feelings about that whole thing. They weren't able to accomplish what they want to do, whether it be, good or bad, or honest or not. They might have harsh feelings about it, and that actually comes through. And that not only goes for freaking, like, even other people you go against, at least, I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how it's for other people, but a lot of times, how do I say, you being in this position changes stuff. It changes not only, I guess, not necessarily who you are, but also how people perceive you. Like people in my freaking school, they make a joke like, oh shoot, it's Alex, Mr. President. Whenever I play Fortnite with some people, they're like, oh shoot, Mr. President's down. We gotta go help him out. And simple jokes like that. They're fine. But even then, some people might put you either in a pedestal, or they might put you in such a high regard and say like, oh shoot, it's Alex here, no, like that. And I'm really seeing that too much. But sometimes people might think you're a senior class president. Oh shoot, you think you're the big guy now, huh? And like I said, people might have a different view of you, which I don't blame them. You're in this position. It's like I said, city council. You're part of city council. You're in a position to do something good. You're in a position to do some stuff. And if like I said, this goes back to the other thing. if you act like a freaking goofball in class, if you don't do your homework, and if you don't do classwork, you don't get stuff done, and you are the president and all that, you are not setting a good example. And especially under all that, you know, like I said, people have a different perspective on you, being like, oh shoot, this person's the president now. I'm kind of expecting this and that. And, people are like, yeah, and that just happens. And another thing, actually, I just remember right now. Another thing. And then this ties back to how people say, oh, you're big, or you think you're the big guy now. There's actually been, oh shoot. I don't know if you hear that, but there's a plane on top of me right now, so you might hear that. But I'm just going to continue talking. There's literally been times where people have said, oh, I don't like this person now. I feel we should, freaking impeach them. Which, actually, I've actually heard about that. Not towards me, but towards other people in positions, at least in my school. And, it happens. You're not going to satisfy everyone. But that leads to my other point. People have a different perspective on you. And you better hope, honest to God, you do the best job you can. That's all I have to say about that. People will say this and that. Don't let it get to your head. Like I don't know, this is not really the greatest example. Like, on the internet, people have said some stuff to me and like, oh shoot. But then it gets to a point where it's like, doesn't even faze you anymore. And I don't know if it necessarily get to that point, at least in real life. But that will happen, especially when you're in a public position. In a position, even hell, like on the internet, like I said, you're putting yourself out there to the world. And people will say stuff like that. They will think stuff like that. And you will know when they think stuff like that. I've literally seen people make comments about me. Some good, some bad. But they do say those comments about me. And, well, I'm not going to go be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? But what the hell am I going to do? They're making comments. It is what it is. The thing is, don't let it get to you. Keep it going and just you do you. But also make sure you not like bow down, listen to the comments, but say, all right, maybe this person might actually have something of substance to say. They might mean something. I should actually take a listen. Which actually leads into the next thing I want to talk about. Taking criticism. Now, this is a more of an overall thing. And like I said, I've had people say some stuff about me, mostly behind my back. And some stuff, at least I critique myself, saying, alright, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. This is what I think I should do better. And at least me, I go into these, not only class meetings, I also go to freaking class president's meeting, which also means ASB meetings in other schools, and president meeting at my school, like with senior class president, which is me, ASB president, junior president, sophomore president, freshman president, and all those other officers right there. We all just get into one classroom and just talk about stuff. And being in this position, I see and hear many things. And it's not only just the people who make comments, it's also there are people in other positions. And this is, like I said, this is going from my view looking at someone else, how they are doing their job as another officer. Sometimes people, they don't want to take criticism. It's like, it's sometimes a little insane how much people just want a force field around themselves, to the point where they don't want to hear not even criticism about themselves. Sometimes no criticisms at all about what they are doing or their group and all that. They're like, oh no, you're saying this about like what we did here in this project? Oh, you're just mean. You don't count. You don't count anymore. They wanted this like giant force field of like an echo chamber. Okay, like I said, don't directly bow down to what people say. Like, if people say, oh, this looks like garbage, they're not really giving good critiques right there. But if somebody's saying, hey, I feel you can do this better, I didn't really like this about this thing or that, I feel you can do this better, be like, alright, like, you don't have to agree with them. You know, you can always disagree. You know, that's the thing. We're all human. We did agree and disagree about many things, but be like, all right, I hear you. You know, like I said, at least for me, I would take notes on it, and then see we can go from there. Present that to everybody else, being like, okay, this is what's happening, and you know what? Take it cool. Take it like, you know what? All right, I hear you. You know, just leave it as that. Like I said, because there's some people, and like I said, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus again, but there's some people who extraordinarily go to far lengths just to deflect all criticism. They want this happy sunshine and rainbow, like, oh, I'm doing the perfect job. And they don't want to hear anything other than that. And I'm just going to say this out right now. If you are a person who does not want to listen to criticism, and if you do that on a regular basis in this position, you're not doing a good job. I'm just saying that right there. You are not doing a good job. Like I said, it doesn't, like, I haven't seen it go too far, but I've seen some people. They're in a position. They're like, oh, no, I want to listen to you. No, this and that. Or even then, like, even side conversation, like, okay, good example. I'm not going to specifics, but one time, there was this event that happened. You know, everybody celebrating all that. Afterwards, you know, I'm just doing a little side thing, just by myself. And then I hear somebody in this, like, another officer. They're like, yo, you know, I heard this person say this and that. They should be saying it. You know, they're doing this and that. You know, we did all this work and all that. They should be saying this. They should shut up. You know, no negativity, no criticism at all. And that's in that moment, instead of me saying like, you should shut up and all that, this is what I told them. Hey, I get where you're coming from, but we can't tell people to shut up. We can't tell people they're wrong for having an opinion. Because even though, yeah, sometimes people might say mean things, like people are freaking, like, oh god, if I even go into detail what people say about me sometimes, but we should let people have their opinions. They should have their word. They should have their say. And yeah, sometimes it's unwarranted. Yeah, a lot of times I don't agree with it. But you still gotta let them say it. You still gotta let them speak. You, especially in your position, you got to let people speak, and you gotta be willing to listen. You have to have an open mind and be like, hey, even though you do all this work on that, sometimes not everybody will be satisfied, but you still gotta have that openness of being like, okay, I am willing to listen. And that's kind of what I've told the person. And maybe they're not changed at all. Maybe they're still thinking, I want this magical fairyland of positivity. And you know what? That's okay. If that's the case, that's not completely okay, at least for me, in my opinion. There's still things to work on. But that leads to, I guess, again, another topic. Or at least in the same vein. You working with your fellow officers. And this video is getting long. Oh god, it's gonna be in like an hour. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna try to end this quickly as possible. When you are working with your fellow officers, like I said, you're gonna be working with a lot of different people. Sometimes people you don't necessarily like. Sometimes people you do like, but they show a different side of themselves once they are in a position of power. And you gotta work with that. And it's just me, just an example. In ASB, last year, 11th grade, there's some people who flat out just don't like me. For one reason or another, they just don't like me. I try not to dislike them, but then friction happens, and then, not catastrophe, but, friction happens between them, me, them, and someone else. It just gets all ruffled right there. And then things just not fall apart, but they come unsteady. At least with last year, I'm glad I was in ASB last year, because that gave me practice on how to handle people, and I've been doing this for a long time, handle people who are different from you. Handle people who are in a work environment other than the classroom, other than just talking to each other by, oh, here's this math problem, how do we solve it? You're talking about more abstract things, like things you might see excuse me, things you might see in the real world. Like, let's say, for example, you work at McDonald's. You gotta get this burger done. Like, somebody wants to order like 10 fish fillets. You gotta get it done with your teammates. You might like them or not. You gotta get it done. And I feel this helps you get prepared for that. Oh gosh, you gotta take a breath. And with that, I feel, especially in this position, you gotta be willing to work with others. You gotta be willing to work with other people, like I said, who are different from you, you might not agree with all the time, who hell you might even hate, and they might even hate you. But you gotta set that aside to actually work with them. And even then, a lot of these people are not the best to work with. Some of them will goof off. Some of them will not let go any grudges and just make it hard to work with them. Some of them will just a personality overall you might not even like, and that might just annoy the hell out of you. And some of them don't even show up and do their damn job. Or some of them just don't want to do their job or do it right. And that, like I said, that's the thing. You gotta be willing and able enough to get through all that. To be like, okay, this is what it is. You gotta work through it. And ultimately, at least I feel, once you get through all that, once you work through it, once you find a way to say, okay, we found a pattern, let's work with this pattern and let's get things done, it's actually really rewarding. It's actually really satisfying thinking, hey, I'm actually working with people who are different from me and working with people who I once was not able to get anything done, but now we're getting some stuff done. And that's pretty cool. Honestly, that's pretty cool. But like I said, and again, going back to example when I talked to my fellow officer about how I didn't necessarily agree their take on telling people or how they thought people shouldn't give any criticism. I told them, not in an angry manner, in a respectful manner, saying, hey, I get where you're coming from, but I don't agree with it. I feel we should do this and that instead of this and this. And if you play it like that, then things overall will go civically and things overall will go nicely. Well, at least usually. Sometimes that's not always the case. But that's that. What else? Anything else? Trying to just think on this matter of working with other people. How to say okay, another thing. Working with your teachers and all that. And like I said, I didn't see much of what other people, how they work things. But one of the comments I made, or not I made, one of the comments I've seen was, ultimately the teachers make the decision for you. And at least for me, at least in my school, that's not the case at all. And you know what? I mean, this is not being mean, but if you're in a school where in ASB where teachers are kind of making decisions for you, I kind of feel bad because, at least in my school, a lot of us students, we get an input on some stuff. We get input on a lot of stuff, like in ASB. If a student does not do their work, that fails. Straight up. If like, let's say for fundraiser, when you get a fundraiser done, when you put the paperwork down, if the student does not get that work done, it just falls through and doesn't get done. And then that's when the teacher has to step in. And that's the thing. You're in this position, you gotta also work not only with students, with teachers. You gotta work with them, be like, okay, how do we get things done? That might include going to school early. That might include going after school, like I said, going to school field trips. Not even field trips, like a freaking ASB meetings, at least for me. Like in LUSD, we have these ASB meetings. Like sometimes we go to this other high school, like freaking like 10 miles away. Gotta drive all the way over there, like in the middle of third period. And then be there, get back by like end of school day. Yeah, that happened. You gotta be willing to work with that, and and if you're not able to, that's fine, but find a way to make it work any way to where you get stuff done. Cause that's part of the job. That's part of the job, doing this stuff, getting it done, and just doing what people elect you to do, doing what you were meant to do in this position. And actually, going back to the whole people might not like you thing. I swear to God, there are some adults who are probably in their third decade of being an adult they have not grown out of being in high school. I'm just putting it like that. Some people, some adults, never grew out of high school and never just got into my mind of, hey, my attitude towards others isn't working. My mindset probably isn't the best, but they just stick to their ways and it's not really helpful for you. And that's all I gotta say about that. Like I said, sometimes a lot of students act more mature than adults, which is a little sad, but it is what it is. Alright. 45 minutes in. Wow, I've only ever recorded one other video this long, but let's see. Look through my notes. Actually, I wrote down a whole bunch of notes, never even used them since I just talked, but let's see. Take your sides. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about this. I think I said everything I had on these notes. Oh, wow. Alright. So, like I said, that's all we gotta say about that. Yeah, I can't really think about anything else. But I guess a few things before I close this off. How to say? When you're in this position, just ultimately be you. Do what you feel is best. Because even though I say this, even though I say that, and a lot of these times in this video, I know I said, if you're not doing this, you're doing a bad job. And even though that is my opinion, that's how I feel about this. You don't even have to listen to me. I'm saying it right now. You don't even have to listen to anything I said in this video. You probably disagree with it, and that's okay. If you disagree with that and you feel like everything I said in this video is bad advice, hey, that's fine. Ultimately, I feel you should do you. You should do what you feel is the best thing to do in this position. And it's kind of like, I guess, quoting Peter Parker in like Spider-Man Spider-Verse. Don't do it like me, do it like you. Do it to where you feel you are doing the job only you can do. And I feel I think that's kind of the mindset I've been doing with this, now realizing it. And I feel that's the mindset you should probably take it to. At least that's just me. But that's all I gotta say about this. I guess another note. This is just part 1. Like I said, the first semester's already done. I plan to do a part 2 after second semester's done. So after senior year is all said and done, I want to make a part 2 on this and then give more of my experiences. Probably give, I guess, little story time things. And give more advice after a second semester work is done. And then let's see how things are there. Maybe my thoughts will change. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will change radically. Maybe a little. But, things change. And, we'll see what happens there. But, yeah. So, stay tuned for that. Maybe give it a few months. A part 2 will be coming. Sooner, yeah, it'll come probably June or July. But that's what I really gotta say about that. So, like I said, this is just me, Alex Shiruku, giving my advice / a little bit experience of being in the senior class president position. And just me just trying to give advice for others who might be in this position, who are also planning to be in this position. Oh God, it's late at night. God dang it. And this is just me just helping, or at least wanting to help others get through it. And if you guys have anything to say, like you want to talk about this, if you are having any comments, any questions, hey, put in the comment section. In the description, you'll see links to my Twitter, not Facebook. I don't even use that anymore. Twitter, Instagram, and all that. You contact me there. We could talk about this. That's ultimately what I want. For people to listen, for people to hear, people to say, okay, let's make a conversation. Let's be better by working together. That kind of rhymes, but that's what I want out of this. And that's ultimately why I made this video. So, even though it's 50 minutes long, I'm looking at it. Hopefully you got something out of it. And even though you heard my voice for like 50 minutes, hopefully it wasn't too bad. Hopefully not. And hopefully you got something out of this. So, yeah, and actually I feel like I've got something out of it too, just by talking and recording for 50 minutes long. Wow. But like I said, that's all I gotta say. check the description, put comments in comments, and just hope you guys, present or not, in the school, just enjoy school. Enjoy things while you still can. Because, like I said, we live once, we only go through this once. Make the best out of it. Make the best out of this experience. And that's all I could wish for anyone. So, yeah. Hope you guys have a good time. And see you guys later.